I'll tell you what, there's very little financial incentive right now for me to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Very little. Nobody in their right mind would do this.
Yeah.
They come in and take more and more control, and we will just say, you know, to hell with it. We will just, I mean, there's a point at which it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard work and we enjoy it, but we're willing to do it for what we can make out of it, but for the rewards of just being here and living this life. But you know, the more the government comes in and takes.
Well, you send me to Congress and I'm going to get the government out of your hair. How's
that is my intent. And you know I'll come and work you over if you don't do what you say.
That's right. Oh, good.
You've got a lot of people out there that know you and know you well enough that they're behind you 100%, and I'm one of them.
Well, and they know I stand by what I say, and I believe in what I say. And
right.
This is not coming from anywhere but my heart. And,
no.
I'm not going to let this go without a fight. And the people can take back from the government when it gets way beyond what we gave them. And that's what's happened now. I think, you know, you look at the income tax. We gave the government permission to raise income. And what they've done is they've taken that permission and used it as a way of manipulating our lives by controlling what they give tax breaks to. And you know, we didn't ever give them permission to run our lives by raising income. But you know, I looked at a pair of Wranglers. Somebody said, well, now where are those Wranglers made you're running in? And I said, well, I don't know. And I looked at them, they're made in Mexico.
Not good.
You know, it's just the days of manufacturing in America are waning.
I know, I'm just wondering what it is that we are producing here. You know, what we're...
Yeah. Well, it just scares me to lose our manufacturing jobs and, you know, losing agriculture. You know, why?
What I'm wondering is why, when we had a model that worked so well for so long, why that model, why do supposedly intelligent people want to change the model?
Well, and that's what I talk about when I talk to groups. I talk about the difference of going back with the forefathers and, you know, the Constitution and the Declaration, or going the way of Marxism, you know, the Communist Manifesto, and it scares me.
You've got a vast array of examples across the world of socialism, communism not working.
Failures.
Every time, not one success story. We have the success story, and I don't understand.
You know, it scares me that our country is forgetting that we're at war.
Exactly.
And we've got a president who I think hadn't figured out whether we're at war or we're not at war. And we need people in Congress to get us back on the right track that way, because we're in a fight for our lives.
Right.
You know, and it's...
Right, and our form of government is designed to protect us from any one individual getting off track too far. That's why we have congressmen, that's why we have senators, that's why we have the separation of powers. And it's not functioning that way. It's not working.
Well, we're going to put some good people back in Congress, and you know, we'll take her back. You know, I've already started to identify people I want to stand back to back with in Congress. You know, we'll go back to back, and we'll take the fight, because we need leadership. We've given this up to politicians.
We need people who know that principles matter more than money.
Yeah, and they matter more than political parties. And,
and parties and all of that.
And I want to prove to the people of Colorado that we can do this without a bunch of money, that a common man
can run and get in there
and get elected, because that's what it's all about. And the days of giving this over to career politicians who really lose interest in us. You know, how long has it been since you've seen John Salazar?
I wouldn't know him if he walked by.
Where is John? Well, I guarantee you I'm going to be back here. You know, I've made a pledge that within, you know, 2-year term, I've got 29 counties in the district. I'll be back in one county every month and do a town hall. And I'm going to look at people and say, am I doing what you want me to do?
Right.
Am I being your voice? Because I want to be of the people.
Right.
And I want your answers to go up to Washington, not people in Washington telling you what to do down here.
Right.
Well, we're going to go back in Washington. We're just going to start looking at every single law that really hadn't got any constitutional basis and that ought to be a state law, if a law at all, and get government off our back. You know.
And it'll be a process, it'll be a slow process, and you know, people need to realize that we didn't get in this far, this much trouble overnight. We're not going to get out overnight, but yet at the same time, there should be measurable progress.
Yeah. Well, a man said something the other day that made a lot of sense to me. He said, if you go 20 miles down the wrong road, before you get on the right road, you got to come 20 miles out.
Exactly.
And that's where we are right now. We got to come back out because we're on the wrong road right now.
Right. We are Americans, and we're the most giving people on the face of the planet. We will take care of our neighbors and our friends.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened for me in this community. The government hasn't taken care of me. My friends and neighbors have come in when I needed a hand.
Boy, that rings my bell. Neighbors know how to take care of neighbors.
Yeah.
You know, my church up in Steamboat, Pastor Troy set a goal for us in October. He said, or in September, he said, in October, we're going to raise a ton of food for our food bank.
How many tons did they raise?
We raised 4 tons of food.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh my gosh, you know, and that's neighbors taking care of neighbors. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, neighbors know who needs a hand and who needs a kick in the pants.
Exactly.
You know, that's,
exactly.
You know, and get people back. We need to restore pride in America, but we need to make Americans proud again. That's what we need to get back to.
Yeah. Yeah, people will take care of people. It's really been great to see you.
Great to see
It's
you.
been
And I appreciate
awesome.
all you've done to support my campaign. And
I'll do as much more
I'm
as
counting
I'm
on
able.
you.
Well, I'll do everything I can.
And I need your prayers.
And that too.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
See ya.
See ya.